they just recently had a sort of a, I'd call it a debate, somewhat of a debate, but it was held at the Crystal Ballroom here in the city of Portland, off of Burnside, and I say that I understand it. There was about an estimate of about 600 folks or whatever, but anyway, now they got me on another text. I got my things going to the ear. This is interesting. But anyway, they had this event, and it was about an hour and a half long. But what we're going to do, we're going to give you the opportunity to see the introduction when both candidates are basically will be giving up at least about a minute each and opening it up. On the other side, you can Google the entire event on candidate, let's see, Portland, Oregon candidate for city council, Loretta Smith and Joann Hardesty. And it will come on YouTube. That will come on YouTube. You can do that. But what we're going to do right now is the way we're going to do this is that, as you can see, I got the usual panel with me. We're going to discuss this whole issue after we get through looking at this piece. And I've got Don DuPay here. You see my friend Fred. You got Fred. And then the one and only Teresa DuPay. Okay. And then yours truly. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go on and start off, open it up with this piece, and then we'll come back, and then we'll have our discussion. And maybe if we have enough time, we'll talk a little bit about national politics, because that's hot, too.
Yeah.
Okay? Take care. All right. Let's have it.
Tick tock, tick tock.
There you go. It sounds just way too. That's about the size of it, too. There we go.
The question is there a heightened standard for you as a black candidate in this election season, or a lowered standard, an expectation that you will go dirty, engage in reality TV, air dirty laundry, or that you fight less hard so that this campaign lifts up the black community regardless of what doesn't get said?
Madam Moderator, are we going to skip the opening? We have a 1-minute opening that we're supposed to do.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's okay. Trisha's used to me doing this in county commission. You have to keep the rules right.
Is this what you said, Joann reinvents herself?
Thank you. I want to thank Donna, Maxie, Race Talks, and Trisha Tillman for helping to host and moderate this evening's forum. And I do have to say this in the spirit of Stuart Emmons. He would always say, when it's hotter than fish grease in here. And had I known this, they didn't have any air conditioner. This is particularly for the older folks. I would have not agreed to it. So I just want y'all to know, full disclosure.
Good for her. Yeah, exactly.
So, good evening. My name's Loretta Smith, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself. When I think about the city of Portland, I look at it through a lens of 5 generations of family. I think about my grandparents who came here from Brooklyn, New York in 1944 so that my grandfather could work in the Kaiser shipyards. After the war was over, they stayed in Portland. They made a family. They had 8 kids. My dad was one of 8. Housing was affordable. Jobs were plentiful. But I'm going to tell y'all, Portland has changed. Housing is not affordable anymore. Homelessness is at an all-time high. Camping associated with homelessness, it's out of control. And can you believe we have unprecedented prosperity here in Portland? But what I want to do as your Portland City Councilwoman, I want to make sure we all have an opportunity to succeed.
Okay.
Joann.
All right.
Good evening. I want to thank each and every one of you for being in this space tonight. My name is Joann Hardesty, and I want to be your next Portland City Council member. Why I want to be your city council member, I want to be very clear. I am not running to be the first of anything. I am running because I have the experience, the background, the credibility, and I've done the work over the last 30 years that proves that I will speak truth wherever I need to, that I am unafraid and unapologetically black, and I've been black since I was born and will die black. I want you to know, as your city council member, people rarely ask white men if they can represent people of color. So I find it kind of ironic that when two African American women run, people want to know, but can you represent all the people? I have built my campaign around creating one Portland, a Portland that thrives for everyone. I hope you will take the time to listen carefully and listen to be sure that I am running as a people candidate. I had over 1,200 individual donors in the primary, more than all my competitors combined, because I am a grassroots leader, and I have proven that the people want a voice in their city council. They do not want the status quo, the same old, same old. They want visionary, bold leadership that will be unafraid to tell my colleagues when they get it wrong. Thank you.
All right, let's give it one more question. Let's get that first question on the campaign.
Okay.
This is Ms. Tillman.
I apologize for not giving you that first 1 minute opening. So now we're going to get into the questions. So, Commissioner Smith, is there a heightened standard for you as a black candidate in this election season, or a lowered standard? An expectation that you will go dirty, or that you will fight less hard so that this campaign lifts up the black community regardless of what doesn't get said?
Thank you, Tricia, for that question. I think that this campaign is going to be about the issues. This campaign is about someone who has experience, education, a track record, somebody who does their homework. And I know that this campaign has to be about jobs, housing affordability, homelessness, public safety, transportation. We all have an opportunity to have an opportunity. That's what I'm looking for. And I'll be looking to put in policies that have an equity lens on everything that we do. But you know, this is not reality TV. This is personal for me, Tricia. I have a track record. I have a track record of success. I know how to move the ball down the field. We have more money in housing and homelessness since I've been on the county commission than ever before. We've increased the high school graduation rates through a Promised Neighborhood grant that we did. And we have a budget that reflects our values. And I know that I have 78 budget amendments and resolutions, more than anyone else that I've ever served with, to help this community. And I do think, yes ma'am.
Please hold your applause.
I do think that it is very odd that when two black women run, no one says anything about when two white men run. What they say is, let's find out about their experience. Let's find out about their education. Let's find out about their track record, and let's find out about their effectiveness, not affectiveness, but effectiveness. And that's what we do, and that's what you all need to do when you're judging us two. I just find it just so unconscionable that we would even say in this day and age about the color of two people. But what it says to me is that me and Joann have the values of the majority of the people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bruce, you saw that article?
Ms. Hardesty, is there a heightened standard for you as a black candidate in this election season, or a lowered standard? An expectation that you will go dirty, or that you will fight less hard so that this campaign lifts up the black community regardless of what doesn't get said?
I have a history of fighting for what is right. It started as a legislator in Oregon. When ballot measure 11 passed, I was the only elected leader willing to put my name on a ballot measure to repeal ballot measure 11, the mandatory minimum sentencing law that sends 15-year-olds to jail. Today in Salem, I look like a visionary because they understand that the money we're spending on prisons is at the expense of our education system. I have a record of bringing people together. So when you vote for me in November, you also will have the opportunity to vote on the Portland Clean Energy Fund Initiative, which is an innovative fund that will bring money into communities of color. I have been around long enough to know that government comes up with all kind of buzzwords about how they're going to help women and people of color. It used to be affirmative action, then it was diversity, then it was inclusion. The new buzzword is equity. I look at outcomes. I am someone that is driven by data. And when I look at the data and realize that African Americans, Latinos, and Native Americans, the needle has not moved in 30 years, I am the one that asked the question, why is that? Why is it in a city of 6% African Americans, 59% of Portland Police gang enforcement stops are of African Americans? You need someone who's willing to ask the hard questions.
Okay. Well, now we're back here with the group here, guys. And we've all, by the way, we've all shared and basically shared some of the background that was out there, the newspaper articles and this, that, and the other. So these folks here are very much aware of what's going on, and this will be their opinions. And so this is a very interesting race. And I might add, too, that we might give kudos to Race Talk, Donna Maxey.
Yeah.
Donna Maxey put this on. As you know, she was here. She was on the show here a couple of times around, and it was about women. You know, in this particular, it was about women and blacks. That's where basically she was trying to focus and make sure that the public was able to see two assertive women in politics.
And you know something the public needs to know too is Donna Maxey. The Maxey name is a very important black family. I mean, the Maxeys go way back. Mr. Maxey, her father, was one of the first, let's say, black real estate moguls in inner northeast Portland. When they let the dogs out, as they say, after the Vanport flood, and they allowed black people to buy north of Fremont, guess who was one of the first people to jump on in? And he bought quite a bit of real estate and rented it to a lot of black people who couldn't afford to buy real estate. And he had a little grocery store that's still
let's
there.
Get back to Donna.
Yeah,
this is
I know, but I'm just saying.
I understand that.
I
that's
think,
another show.
We get. I know, but we get these black people like the Maxeys running around, and nobody ever notices them.
We're talking about her show. We're talking about her and Race Talk. I mean, she it's really an ass. She's been around here for about 9 years or so in that
Donna?
business. And Donna's been doing this piece.
Yeah, but she grew up here.
But this piece that we're talking about right now, the benefit that it has for Portland and all of us. For that matter.
But bottom line, Donna Maxey is a Portlander. She grew up here, big time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, let's get down to the meat.
Talk about the historicness of it. You guys were involved in writing an editorial about it, Fred, and I think that's how we ought to start this out. It is historic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, when Fred and I were talking about it, of course, I'm not going to think of these things. Fred brought it to my attention. I didn't even think, wow, this is historic. 2 black women running for city council. And then we talked about it and, agreed that he should write some kind of an editorial.
Yeah, and it's on my website, fredstewart.com. No, I mean,
let her talk about it, then you can come in.
But it's a great editorial. It's just basically just stating the obvious that it is a historic race and that maybe Portland media should be more interested in writing about that aspect of it. I feel like a lot of Portland media wants to see how they can get Loretta Smith and Joann Hardesty to kind of go at each other and see what sparks fly, and that's kind of disappointing, but I guess that's politics.
Where is that going to be? Where is it at? Where's the article?
It's on my website, fredstewart.com, just like my name.
Just fredstewart.com.
Yep, fredstewart.com.
The article's there. It is on.
It's on there
it's on
right now.
Right now. Okay,
but,
good.
But tagging on to what she's saying, I mean, and I kind of laid this.
What did you say, basically? What were you trying to say, Fred?
Well, I just wanted to say, I mean, 70 years ago this year, the city council, not happy about it, made a decision to allow black people to live north of Fremont. You understand? I mean, the city council in '46 was trying to figure out how to get black people out of Portland. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the city council has got a long history of not being friendly toward black people. So here I'm looking at this. That's my reason why. I mean, Donna Maxey, Mr. Maxey's daughter, is putting this together. His granddaughter's involved. I mean, if my grandfather was here, he'd be freaking out about this. He got 2 qualified black women who, I mean, I bump heads with both of these women. I mean, I'm saying this because...
Is this the article you're talking about?
Yeah, this is the article I'm saying.
Okay.
But they're both proven leaders. They both have been involved in leadership roles and issues in Portland. They both have the minerals, to do the job. I'm not telling anybody which one I think. I do feel one would be better than the other, but I'm not, telling anybody my opinion. I'm just, because I really want people to focus on this moment together, and to make sure, above all else, they do vote for one of these women. But do their own homework and ignore things like the media. I mean, Oregonian and Willamette Week and these guys can't even... Who
cares what they think?
They can't even hire a black person to write about black people. Yeah. I was laughing the other day at what the Oregonian was saying about President Trump when they asked Kellyanne Conway about how many senior black people work. Yeah. And I'm like, well, he had one and he fired her. But you know what? Since he's become president, the Oregonian, Willamette Week, they've had none combined. Yeah. Matter of fact, you got to go back, about 15 years?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Since they've had, one?
Let's get back to the race again.
Yeah.
Okay, good. What do we thought about the introduction? What do you think? I mean, that was an introduction to the whole deal. And like I said, go back and Google it on YouTube, and you get the whole deal. But
Don,
the
what do you
idea
think about
what
that?
impression did it give you, Don? What did you say?
Well, it is historic. My advice is for people to do their own investigation of both candidates. Mm-hmm. I have my opinion, but I don't know if I should.
No, sure. Which one? Yeah.
I said a long time ago when I saw all this coming, we've got a race between class and crass. And Loretta Smith is class, and Joann will always be the crass.
Okay.
She's not qualified for the job she's seeking. Okay. I don't understand why so many people think she may be qualified, because in my opinion, a high school dropout is not qualified to take on a city bureau with a budget of millions of dollars and a staff of many, many people and put it all together. She doesn't understand the police, which is one of the basic jobs of the city commissioner in the first place. She talks about cutting the police bureau even more. In a previous race talk, she suggested that the police should be disbanded completely. So I don't know where to go from there. She's never been honest about her education. She has wrong ideas about what should happen with the police. And I think she would be a disaster on city council. Okay. That's my opinion.
What do you think, Dee?
I think that they're both really intelligent leaders, and I think they both have a place in Portland. But I agree that I think Loretta Smith is definitely the qualified applicant, and
Can you add to that in terms of what is it?
She's just the whole package. She's and politics is a cutthroat business.
Yes,
I'm not a politician. I'll never be involved in politics. It's really complicated. It's definitely not my thing, but I also know certain things when I see them. I think that Loretta Smith needs to really work on being a little more accessible to all people and just maybe a little friendlier. I have a lot of respect for Loretta Smith. I really like her, but when you're in a situation like a debate, and it's high stress and women, they can be kind of catty with each other, and so I know how that works. But I definitely feel she's the better qualified person.
Well, you caught me in a rock and hard place there. What do you say? What do you say in terms of?
Well,
you heard the introduction.
Well, they're both. They
need to know.
I like their introductions.
We got an election going on.
I like their introductions. It's like I've known these women for over 20 years. You know what I mean? I've known both of these women for a long time, and they both hit on things that we've been arguing over for years. So I'm not gonna it's hard for me to get into it without coming across as picking one over the other. And I tell everybody, I'm not picking one over the other, not because I'm afraid to. I just think, from my perspective, understanding the importance of this moment. I mean, we're going to have, one, the first black person on city council since 1992. Two, we're going to have a black woman on there.
Yeah.
If you look at, Charles Jordan, who was appointed, which is great. Charles Jordan still, I mean, these girls, they're nowhere near in his class level as far as a policymaker, leader, and everything like that. But they are the absolute best we've had to choose from since Charles Jordan, period. Okay. With a bullet. You understand? And I just want people to take this campaign more serious than maybe what we're used to seeing, and definitely more serious than the media. None of the newspapers, including the Mercury, which
Right.
is showing me the Mercury, they're beyond being a joke. You understand? I mean, they're supposed to be liberal and progressive and everything like that. I mean, they should be digging into these women and presenting to their readers what is offering to the city. You understand? This is an incredible moment.
As it relates to the issues.
As it relates to the issues. No, as it relates to the issues. I'm not talking about throwing dirt or nothing, but I mean, getting down to the nitty gritty.
Right.
I mean, Loretta is talking about all the things she's done with the budget and stuff. Wow. Would it be great if some reporter said, hey, this was when Loretta said she did 73 amendments to the budget. This is what they were, and this is what it meant.
And the impact that it had.
Impact. You know, what do you call it with Joann and her hatred of Measure 11.
Right.
You know, I mean, ask her. 3 years ago, when a guy almost shot the mayor on Alberta Street, you know what I mean, and he got hit for Measure 11, so he's going to go to jail for 8 to 10 years. Does she feel that 15-year-old should be in jail less? You understand what I'm talking about? What I'm getting to is they could dig into the issues with these women. You understand, and let us know what we present.
And the other thing that they should do and should have done is simply just write some articles commenting on the historicness of this race.
Exactly.
And Fred was the only person in the Portland Eye and the media, to even comment on it.
These are two women. I mean, all of the black leaders that I have met that are gone, and some white leaders too, because we didn't get here by ourselves. Okay, but there's so many people I wish could meet both of these women. You know what I mean? It's just like,
let me share a thought. Well, one of the main thoughts I wanted to share is that's why we're doing what we're doing. We're basically trying to educate the media.
Correct.
Or just inform them. You know,
Yeah.
we want to be progressive.
If you got to educate the media, there's a problem with the
want to
media.
assimilate, if you will. We want to assimilate. We can't continue to play the divide. So the bottom line is not to have a race between two women. As far as I'm concerned, they're capable in their own respective right aspect of it. Because whoever wins, as far as I'm concerned, the other should seek out whatever and stay within the mix, if you will, because we need it. We've been identified as a divided country among ourselves
Very
here.
divided.
And so now we need, if you will, so
Right.
we need this discussion. So it's going to be very important, and hopefully this will help the media, if you will, do some of the things that we're talking about. And do a race so they identify what the issues are, and like Don said, get their records out and associate that with who could be the best solution for those issues aspect of it. And so my comment in regards to both of them would be that when you think about Loretta, I have to give kudos to a young representative guy that I met years back who ran against Bob Duncan, and that was a guy named Ron Wyden, and he ran for representative, and he won. And he hired Loretta right out of school, out of school.
Yeah.
Not really.
Right out of school. He got it from the Urban League. Right out of school.
I think she was 22.
She was looking for a job. Yeah, she was looking for a
22.
job.
Yeah.
He hired her. He stayed with her. And my point is that, and he basically, as far as I'm saying, he opened up the door for her because she'd been to D.C. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And when I see some of the articles, for instance, that some of the ads that were out there, and I can talk about both of them, but some of the things, for instance, like the Ron Herndon deal. You know, Ron Herndon was a very popular person within this area, and the leader in his own mind aspect of it. But there was nobody there to help him out. He had some of the black ministers. John Jackson was a guy, but he wasn't a Ron Wyden, if you will. And when you think about the Head Start that Ron Herndon was identified with, it was noted in one of the ads that Ron Wyden had basically introduced. He was part and parcel of garnering $2 billion to get Head Start around the country for all kids of that nature.
Yeah.
It started right here in Portland, Oregon, and Loretta was at the table.
Yeah.
She was at the table. So I mean, those kinds of things were happening to her, and I'm looking at her demeanor when she was running for office. You know, after having run for county, and Don's run for county, but I've seen her in action aspect of it, and I sometimes I'd get a little antsy about whether it be the Wapato thing, like Don and we talked about this when he was running for sheriff or this, that, and the other, or if not that, the B word that was thrown out, the county aspect of it. But the fact of the matter is, she handled it like a politician. I would have, a lot of folks would have said, well, no, this is the black community routine, but she handled it like a politician, because I think if she'd gone straight to the black community, guess what? It would have been a dono on it to a certain degree. So that was a good little thing. But on the other hand, with reference to Joann got here back in 1990. It's been said she was from the Navy aspect of it, that's aspect of whatever. But she was very much involved just in grassroots politics. Just grassroots politics. She had no backing, no nothing. I mean, she was fighting with the Ministerial Alliance. She got involved with the police thing, because police, i.e. profiling and stuff, was main stuff within that community. That's how.
Well, Joann's a big departure.
Wait a minute. Yeah. That's how she. That's what she. So my point is that her resume, as it relates to the community, was totally different. And like Don was saying, like you said, the class and whatever. That's why I'm looking at it from that particular standpoint. So I'm just throwing that on the table. So the idea is, hopefully the press is listening.
I hope so.
To what we're talking
Joann
about. That's the key. Wait, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you need now?
I was going to say, Joann's interesting because one of the interesting good and bad things about Joann is Joann doesn't give a dang about the black community as far as history.
No, she does. She does.
No.
She is history.
No. She's history on her own. But as I said, Joann, historically here in Portland, and her connection with the black community, as far as respecting the history and what's come before her, she didn't grow up here.
That's true. I didn't either.
Well, no, I know, but you're different. You connect with all the people here, and you didn't fight with all of them, and you supported a lot of them.
And you've been here since what?
Well, what I'm getting to, I'm not
40
saying
years.
that this is a negative necessary with Joann. It's just that she's blazing a different trail.
Yeah, right.
And that is completely disconnected from the black community almost entirely. You know, and she is, and that may be good. You know, like I was telling a friend of mine the other day, maybe that's what the city of Portland needs. You understand? Whereas Loretta has a flat-out Portland pedigree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's she didn't go to school here. She went away for a little while, went to college and stuff like that. But she was born here. Family's got deep roots here. As far as 70 years can bring back, 75 years can bring back. Yeah. You know, my grandfather, knew her father and was friends and stuff like that. And and so she's been around. She's a Portlander. So it's, like I said, I'm not throwing either one of these under the bus about it. I'm just saying, when you look at these two people, it's a little bit different than what we've had before in political situations.
Well, like I said, in all due respect, Loretta had Ron Wyden.
She did.
That was his base. That was her education piece.
But Joann had Bev Stein.
No. She did not have Bev Stein. She didn't. If that was the
worked
case.
for her.
No, in all due respect, now you got to remember now, she spent those 2 years in the legislature, and then
because of Bev Stein.
And then she came back here to want to run for county. Remember that?
Yeah, but think about it.
No, wait.
Hold on. Out of all the black people who wanted to get into politics in 1990, okay, a lot of them, male and female. Think about it. Bev Stein picks a black woman who only been in Portland a few months, and say, "Hey, I'm going to promote you to be a."
But she didn't.
She did. That's how she got there.
The two terms in office.
Her first term was appointed. Then she ran and got elected.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, white. This is one reason why I tell people, look at this moment. White people do this a lot. You know what I mean? Bev Stein picked Joann because she didn't want to work with any black people who were already in Portland.
Who is this?
Bev Stein.
Okay.
So this black girl comes, and she's black. Think about it. She literally picked the blackest woman she's ever met. You understand? Oh, you've only been in Portland how many months? All right.
Perfect.
You're perfect.
Former county chair. Let's make sure we make sure.
Former county chair.
Former county chair.
And could you call Paul McCoy?
Yeah.
No, couldn't call Paul McCoy.
Did you call Fred?
Well, I hadn't started running yet. I mean, I was still too busy fighting, fighting against Klansmen and black gang members. I wasn't even thinking about running for politics. But no, she had Paul McCoy and a bunch of others. I'm not going to get in all the different names. But hey, she could have called you.
Well, but hey,
you know what I'm saying? But you know, white people do this sometimes. They go, Joann, how many black people do you know in Portland?
Ready to break?
Bev, not many. Just the ones you've introduced me to. We're going to nominate you to be a state representative.
I tell you what, on that particular note, folks, as you can see, we got quite a bit.
Man.
We got quite a bit to say. What we're gonna do? We're gonna take a short.
Perfect.
We're gonna take a short break, and we're gonna come right back. Okay, join us. Call your friends. Let them know.
That's funny.
You are watching Oregon Voters Digest. This program can be seen again on these channels on these dates and times. Tell a friend.
Okay, we are back, folks. As you can see, we're right into the campaign, and then, like I said, we're at the front of the line here in regards to our role, if you will, in this historical event. I think it's very, very important, and hopefully the viewers will share this information, because we need to do it right, if you will.
We do,
and because we definitely, in all due respect, we do need leadership on our present council. Our young man that's there now is mayor. He is mayor. He's mayor of the city of Portland. He needs help.
He needs help.
He needs help, you know, and
I'll help him.
we're going to help him. I know that, Don. We will. We'll continue. Fred's going to help him.
You'll help him decide not to run for re-election?
We're going to help him.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
You're going to help him decide not to run for re-election.
We're going to help him out. And, we probably already got our signs out already. But anyway, but the bottom line is that we're going to spend the time. We're going to spend more time on this race, and in all due respect, we may even get them to come on.
Yeah.
But, as far as the two of them,
They should come on.
they should come on.
And you know, they both should have at least one show with you, Bruce.
Oh yeah,
They should both.
They got to talk. They're a little nervous sometimes about the issues. Cause I know the issue, but you know.
Yeah, but you're well. One, you're old enough to be Loretta's father. Hell, and then you've been here over 25 years longer than Joann. I mean, you've done. This was hilarious about stuff like this. You've done like 20 times more than Joann's ever done. You understand? I mean, you've forgotten stuff that you've done more than what she's actually done.
Well, better than that, I created Ron Wyden. I mean, in all due respect, I gave him some color when he first came to this town. He was on my show here at the Oregon Voters Digest about 20 or 30 times. Oh, yeah. He was on. I still got the tape.
Yeah, people keep
Ron
forgetting.
Is awesome.
That wasn't a fait to complete that he was going to win that race. That was almost like an upset,
That's
with Bob Packwood. With Bob Packwood. Yeah. I mean.
So anyway, but the bottom line is that we got a good pedigree, and well, like I said, we got a good race, and we're going to be able to talk about issues across the board, and we'll encourage both of them. I'll encourage them both right now. Whoever wins, the other one will continue to win. Hopefully, the other one maybe make him a chief of staff person, or put them on the staff or whatever, and give them the opportunity to understand what politics is all about. Yeah, because they're going to need the help anyway, regardless, right? What about you, Don? You think you could join the staff?
They need to put them in a police car for a couple of weeks.
There you go.
No, look, Joanne's been in a police car. It was a disaster. It was a disaster.
What happened?
Joann kept sticking up for the criminals. I mean, no. Joann can't. Don't do that. Don't do
Why
that.
can't she? Why can't
No, don't do that. We
I mean,
cannot put. We cannot put. God bless
Fred.
Joann. She is committed.
Look here, Fred. Wait a minute, Fred.
Committed to the anti-police.
Yeah.
What we'll do, Fred, because you know this, and I know you're very close with Joann.
Yeah.
The two of you will ride in the car together. How's that?
I don't mind doing that, but it's gonna be a long night. I mean, Joann's never met a violent person that she didn't have some love for. He's only violent because of the social conditions that made him here. Yeah. That's why he's been raping these women. He had a bad childhood, and we don't need to beat down on him. Okay. We need to love him. Yeah. We need to show child molesters and people who try to commit first-degree murder. We need to give them some sort of love and understanding instead of all this hate.
All right, quit preaching.
Just because somebody tries to kill somebody doesn't mean they're bad people.
Reverend Stewart, we're done now. We're done now. Let's get down to
this. Is what Reverend Stewart. Hey, let's end this on a fair note. This is why I love Joann. Joann is a very compassionate person.
Oh, yeah.
She wears it on her sleeves. She is braver than anybody I know about this, and she's fearless. You know what I mean? And even though I'm making fun of her, it's all in basically.
Look, we know we spend too much more time on this. Yeah. That's good enough. Yeah. Hey,
okay.
folks, you got it. And
all right.
We'll talk about the race another one time. Let's get down to the national stuff now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's happening down there now.
Yes.
We do have, excuse me, right up front, we do have a president of these United States. And from the day he got elected, there's been debates for the next election. I mean, between CNN and Fox, I mean, I pretty well know where Fox is going to go, but I look at CNN all the time to get all my perks because they don't get the news. They don't get the news, and so they got to create it because all of those people are making 6 figures and better. So they got to do something for the money.
7 figures.
For something for the money. 7 figures, you think?
7 figures. I think everybody but Van Jones making 7 figures.
Van Jones, yeah, boy, I tell you. Yeah. I've never seen so many black folks up there. All of a sudden, black folks are all over the place. What's going on with that deal?
Well, it's good, but it's happening nationally, not here in Portland, because Portland has such a tiny media scene.
Yeah.
No, we've got 8 white folks that do not feel black people have any role in local media.
And Biden,
and I know that for a fact.
And Biden does the morning show, and I don't look at the morning show. I got other things to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't do the evening stuff. You know what I mean? Something solid and get into the issues. They got him in the corner. Doing his stuff. You got to make sure they get the affirmative action. He's still in the affirmative action mode. You got to have one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about Channel 8 and the rest of them, but
Channel 8's got one. But I mean, Channel 8. Channel 8 has done this for the last 40 years. They got 2 black people and no more than 2 black people at any one time on air.
Yeah.
They got what's her name in the morning, Brenda Braxton. Right. And they got Edwards. And they never let Edwards near the anchor desk.
I don't see anybody on.
They always keep Edwards outside.
But maybe this time we might get something.
Nah.
Channel 2, we got a newscast. I mean, a forecaster, weathercaster. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, we got the weather deal.
Yeah. No, we're just a few more deaths away from seeing some real change.
Well, and we need more than just black people on TV. We need black writers.
Yes.
Yes.
We need black writers.
Who can,
we want you to substitute for that because you do such a good job. You do such a good job, Teresa. You do a good job. Well, hey, folks, I just thought maybe I'd throw that in there because the word fake news, you're getting the definition of how that comes about, the fake news. The media is their business. They got to create this stuff. It's about the money in many ways. So you got to look through that. You got to come to the Oregon Voters Digest at our table, and we'll tell you what the deal is.
Now, when are you going to get to Omarosa? When are you going to get to Omarosa?
Well, that's what I'm going to do right now.
Yeah.
The president of DJ.
I like her.
Well, I like her too. Let me tell you something. The black community lost something. Why did Bruce say that? What do you mean, Bruce?
What did we lose?
What did we lose? Well, the bottom line is that she's known the president for about 10 or 15 years.
About 15 years. 15 years.
So now he's the president of the United States. She's sitting right there at the front table with everybody. The bottom line. Now, what do you think about all those folks that he talks about? About all of a sudden you got the highest employment of African Americans. That was Omarosa. You didn't know about that,
right? You think it was her?
Yes, sir.
How?
Hey, look, and all of a sudden the pick for the HUD director. The HUD director.
Hey, don't get me going on Carson.
Man, I'm just
that's nothing to brag about.
He's terrible.
I'm trying to tell
Bruce,
you. I'm trying to tell you.
You're making fun.
Basically told my president, Donald Trump, said, look here, let me tell you about black people. We need housing. We got to start talking about employment for housing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he reacted.
Well, you know, I can't stand Donald Trump. I hate Donald Trump. So anyone who can help bring down Donald Trump,
Yes.
Omarosa,
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
She's a lovely woman. She's smart. She's beautiful.
You know,
she's got guts. She's got the
She
tapes.
got guts.
I'm happy.
Teresa,
And you know,
I'm reading a thread
wait a minute, now,
yesterday.
we got to get the show in line. You don't get no sidebars. Okay. Let Don, come on. I threw my little piece out there for a moment.
I love Omarosa.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah.
I love Omarosa.
I love her. I think she's.
You know, I hope she recorded everything from the day she went in the
Yeah.
door.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is why we need black writers.
Wait. Let them
Yeah.
Because I know that he's attracted to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
That's right.
There's something going on there
Yes.
that she knows, that he knows, and they both know. You know damn well, Fred.
No, I think she's
Something's
seen
going on
it.
there.
I think she has seen it.
Seen it?
She has seen it.
I think she's seen it too.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait now. Wait.
Yeah.
Why come in that way? Why come
Because
in that
that's the right way.
way?
Yeah,
Oh, you
she's
said-
seen it.
Yeah.
She's seen what?
She's got a quarter. She got recordings of it.
Yeah. No, but this is something. This is why, friends. This is why I'm always slapping around these racist publishers and editors from all our papers. Now, this is fascinating. I'm watching this thread develop that only a black person would throw out. This black guy throws out, now that Omarosa is going against Donald Trump, does she get her black card back? Because a lot of people don't know. A lot of black people wrote her off. And they wrote her off before he ran for president.
Yeah.
You know what I said? I'm not president, but before he became president, just when he was running for president, then became president, they didn't only just get rid of that card out of the deck, they burned it.
Yeah, but
So
Fred,
now, well, hold on,
Fred,
let me
they got
finish.
rid of her.
But let me,
Black
but
folks
hold
got
it,
rid of
hold
her.
it, let me finish. So anyway, so
finish.
the question was, now that she's going against Donald Trump, does she get her black card back?
No, you didn't hear
The
that.
white
Yeah.
people, hold it, white people, which cracked me up, I'm like, oh, white people can talk about this? White people said, yeah, she should get her black card back.
CNN likes her.
But you know what black women were saying? Hell no. It's like every black woman said, no, we may let her come to the family reunion, but she's got to sit in the car.
You better check with John. No, you better check with John. CNN loves her.
Hold
They
it.
think she's the greatest thing.
That's
since
Van.
black
That's
people.
Van Jones and
Van
CNN.
Jones loved it.
I'm talking about Black Twitter.
No.
I'm talking about.
No.
I'm talking
You don't
about
mean
a
nothing. No
newspaper
numbers.
in
No
Chicago that does not mind hiring black
No
people. The
numbers.
Chicago Tribune. I mean, black people are
Van
so
John-
hard on Omarosa. I mean, they want her to do what she's doing.
No,
Yeah.
Fred.
They do, but but roughly what black people are saying is, you know, this is going to take you from me wanting to cut your throat to me just ignoring that you exist.
Are you saying Van Jones is not black?
I'm saying he is black, but I'm saying he's not speaking of what I'm seeing majority in newspaper, black talk radio, black Twitter,
on
and on
CNN.
Facebook.
Give me
well,
a
that's
break.
great. That's one voice on CNN.
One voice?
I've been on
Ain't no
CNN
one voice
before.
on CNN.
I mean, gee, what's up? There's one voice.
You're not there. You know that who do they know you?
Yeah, they know me.
When you start talking about this little stuff, all that kind of stuff.
No, what I'm trying to say is what's fascinating about this thing with Omarosa is it's not that black people don't want her to do what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know, they do. They're like Teresa. But a lot of black people are making it very clear they're not forgiving her for stepping away.
Well, you know, but she was interviewed like last week, and she said, she kind of talked about a little of that. She said, you know, I never made any I never lied about it. You know, I grew up in the projects. I wanted to be rich. I gotta respect that. She was honest. She wanted to make a living, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
But then,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Remember,
No,
folks,
and I respect that
remember,
too.
folks, we still have a divide in this country.
Yeah.
Black and white
Thanks to
aspect of
Trump.
it. We
Thank you,
still
Trump.
have a black and white situation.
Yeah.
My point is that this president, I've never known of a president putting someone at that level right next to him on an ongoing basis.
But
Put
Teresa,
her there
it's not-
because he was attracted to her. It had nothing to do with her
Teresa.
Oh,
qualifications.
really?
Yeah.
But she
Teresa,
was doing
it's-
some
it's
things.
not
though.
that it's not that you're
Slippery slide,
wrong.
isn't
But she was doing.
Or
Let's
white
not
people.
have two conversations the same. Let's get this. I want to make sure that Don gets in there. He's
The
got a
only-
point
the
here.
only
I want him
reason
to
she's- the
expand on
only
it.
reason she's there
Why is that, Don? You're making a point. I want you to expand on that point that you were making. What was that now?
I think he's attracted to her. He's been attracted to her, and that's the only reason she's there.
Oh, I think he's more than attractive.
Wait a
I
minute.
think she's seen it.
That's what I meant. It
Yeah.
started out.
Okay.
as attraction.
We got him on board.
Yeah.
Now you're right.
Now he's got the goods. She's got the goods on him.
Right.
Whatever they are.
Well-
how big it is.
And she knows how not good it was. I mean, she does She does come across a
Well,
woman
well,
scorned.
so
She
what-
comes across to me as a woman
So are we
scorned.
going to say anything about the former Clinton, former President Clinton, about
Hell
that?
no, I don't care about that.
Oh, okay.
That's
What about
history.
him? What about her? I mean,
That's history.
What?
What about the lady that was thrown out of her community?
That's history.
Who? Monica?
Monica?
Yeah.
I've been hunting Monica down for 20 years. Nobody's thrown her out of nowhere.
Huh?
If I ever meet Monica, there's a marriage about to happen. Gee whiz, what are you talking about?
Oh,
What are you talking about? She ain't getting thrown out of
boy,
nowhere.
this is getting to be something else. But you know, in all due respect, folks, I mean, I wanted to get in this kind of introduction, especially with my group that I have here, because that's really what we are today. We have so, I mean, things are just tipsy-dizzy all over the place.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. But hopefully, at the end of the day, we're still going to be raising that flag, and we're
Yeah.
all going to be here because we're. I mean, you're talking about I'd call this a jambalaya now. We are really a jambalaya in this country.
My
We
mother
got a little
used to
bit of
make that.
everything. Sometimes we got a bad. Even sometimes we have a gumbo. Sometimes we have a bad gumbo. Sometimes you can just have a shrimp gumbo or just a chicken gumbo, or you can have a chicken and crab and.
My mother made the best jambalaya
You
in the
understand what I'm
world.
saying? Well, that's what we got right here. We got a jambalaya right now.
You know, I posted a video on my Facebook today of these Black Lives Matter people that went to a Trump rally, and one of the leaders of the Trump rally invited Black Lives Matter up on stage to
Right.
give a couple of minutes. It ended up being like more like 3 minutes
Right.
of, and I was blown away about half the things the Black Lives Matter guy said. The Trump people agreed with. You know, I've been telling people on my, on my Facebook that there's an echo chamber out there that you got to stay away from because it's part of the propaganda war that's going on, and there's a lot more in common with people than meets the eye. You know, you got all these Democrats. If you agree with anybody that supports Trump on anything, you're an enemy.
Right.
And you got
Yeah,
Trump people,
yeah.
Right.
same thing.
Yep.
When you're talking about
Radicals.
people who are really trying to
Yeah.
go for the exact same goal.
Yeah.
And then all this, like right now, Trump, even the NAACP is saying that the support in the black community is rising for Donald Trump. And why is it rising? Like I tell people, it's simple. Violence in the black community is going down. It's still high. It is still high. You know why it's going down?
Yep.
Because more people got jobs.
Right.
It's something that simple.
Yep. Yeah.
More black people are working. So then therefore there
I'm
are...
gonna put Omarosa right back. I'm gonna put
no.
it back at the table.
And I go, what if,
She's
if
made
the
sure
black...
that, hey, Donald, take care of that stuff in Chicago or Detroit.
She
Get down
probably
in
had a
Detroit.
lot of influence.
She has a lot of
on
influence.
him.
But I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's going to be a sad thing. She's
Well,
not there.
well,
who is he going to
But
replace?
she was
around-
fired.
Does the black
so-
community say anything about who he should replace?
Well, there's a lot of people trying to replace her position, and that's something a question I saw. I heard on talk radio and
Who-
and
any
a
idea?
lot. I mean, they're talking about
like-
they're talking about a lot of they're talking about bringing back Colin Powell, which I doubt he'll ever do.
No. Donald don't work that way.
No.
He is president of the United States.
I understand.
Who will he accept from the black community?
You know, I don't know. There's a lot of names, a lot of them I never heard of.
Did you hear
But
what I'm saying now?
but what I'm trying to say
His
is
MO.
that there is a discussion in the black community
They're
on
not
the
gonna
East
be-
Coast about this.
He's got to accept that person.
Bruce, it's not that I disagree with you. I'm just saying, this is the first time I've heard black people get like this about politics.
Okay.
You understand what I'm talking
All right,
about?
all right,
I mean,
all right.
I don't believe Donald Trump is listening to watching black Twitter, listening to DL Hughley or anything like that.
But he
who
was.
who should I bring in? I'm just saying.
Oh, you're on that part.
but I'm just saying,
Now
you
you're
got
on
black people who are actually saying, well, now that Omarosa's gone, he needs to get so and so up there. He needs to see if he can get so and so, around. And the thing is, even though I know none of these names you're mentioning is going to happen, what I'm liking,
Nothing happened.
I know it's not going to happen. What is good, what I'm getting to is what's good is we got black people right now really feeling like they can be part of this. Not so much Trump, but part of the political leadership. You understand? And I go, wow, that to me, as a 53-year-old man, we've been mostly, we shall overcome it.
Well, you think the Democrats will do it now? Maybe because we are talking about a race.
The Democrats better start talking about things that are important to poor people, especially black people, like prison reform, finally putting a death knell to the drug war. There's a bunch of things that the Democrats, if between now and 2020, they don't start
They
getting
haven't done
into
Right.
it. They haven't done it.
well, I understand, but they're going to have to start making some changes because I'm telling you, there's a lot of black people who are getting employed right now who haven't been employed like this for years. We got, man, I was reading an incredible article in the Chicago Tribune about this black business that's starting up in South Chicago.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, think about it. In South Chicago, it's been bad for years, and we got we got black people feeling so confident about
You made that point.
things right now. Same thing's going on in Washington D.C. Same thing is going on in Baltimore.
And who created those?
You know, right now,
Amoroso, come on, now, give it up. What the hell are you talking about? Now you're sitting there talking about the man weenie. I mean, let's talk
I
about
didn't talk about his weenie. I said it.
Well, that's it. That's what you wanted to say.
Well, if you want to,
Come on now. You're sitting there, so you're now a Republican now. You're a Trumper. You're a Trumper.
I'm not a Trumper.
You are a Trumper.
I said it.
No, you said you just
I'm
gave
in
him,
mixed company.
You gave him some kudos.
I
Gave him
didn't.
some kudos. Now we're not going
just
to have any
saying-
blacks hired anymore.
I'm saying if
He's going to probably bring in the troops, to clean out the area now. I mean, Jesus Christ, Ray, what are you going to do now?
I'm saying that if it was worth it, she would have stayed there.
What? Let me. I got a few more minutes. What about this Keith Ellison guy? You know, he was a rep. He's one of the vice chair of the Democratic Party. What's his name? Is Ellison? Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keith
Yeah, he used to
Ellison.
run the American Express. Yeah.
He's running. He's the second in command for the Democratic Party. Right?
Yeah.
And I guess he was beating up his wife or something. She had a video on him and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, I mean, what are they going to do with him? What's up? You think they're going to keep him? Uh-oh.
Well, he's going to be gone.
Wait, Don's got some. Don, what is he gone, Don?
He's gone.
He's gone.
I mean, I didn't hear about that.
No Salters.
Okay.
No Salters.
Okay. He's
Next.
gone?
Next.
Okay. There you
I
go.
wish you'd bring back Amorosa to be true.
There you go. I like that Amorosa.
I want to know what
I
she's
want her
got.
to win. I want to
hear all of it.
Hey.
I want to know the scuttlebutt. I want to hear it over the backyard fence.
I want her back at the table.
I've already heard at
done a
least
lot.
one person. It's only been nothing, but I laughed my butt off when I was reading it, making an argument that Omarosa should run for president on the
come on
Democratic ticket in
come on.
2020.
No.
I was laughing my behind off. I mean, it shouldn't happen. It ain't gonna happen. But I was like, stranger things have happened.
Okay, all right. But like I said, right now the Democrats don't have anybody. I don't see anybody running with the Democrats.
Joe Biden to me seems to be the number one so far.
He ain't gonna make it.
Right behind
he's
him
so-
is
he's so
Ain't gonna make it.
goofy.
right behind
Don't
him
anybody.
is what's his name?
Right now, folks,
Bernie
Donald
Sanders.
Trump is
Bernie
Donald Trump's going to be the
Yeah.
guy. He's the
Who's
guy right
behind
now.
him?
Give me some meat.
Behind him, Bernie
Give me
Sanders.
some meat.
I don't
Bernie
know.
Sanders.
Yeah.
No D's. Come on, give me some D's.
No, we really don't. I mean, they're throwing out a bunch of names right now, but obviously these names aren't hunting because think about it, guys. Next month is the start of the 2020 presidential election cycle, and how have we ever been this close to a beginning
No.
and had so few names? I mean, the Democrats right
Donald
now
Trump is going to win. This
have no
election.
idea who they're going to throw out.
Done deal.
But right now, like I said, if I had to bet, it's going to be Joe Biden out there.
Too
and
much in his closet. Keep
Oh,
on being. No
God.
way. No way.
You know, I love him. He's such a
Bernie,
sweet guy,
nice
but
guy.
he's so goofy.
No, we.
And he just isn't president material.
Well, you see,
I have to say.
this is the problem that the Democrats have got in general. This is like from the 10,000 foot level is Donald Trump's got a lock on rural white America. He's got a lock on that.
Yeah.
And then what he's done and how he won is he goes into places, into communities where Democrats have generally done well in the inner cities, and he does well enough.
Okay, let's
But-
get down to the race here. How about Don and Anderson, CNN? You got two guys. You got a black guy and a white guy. Both of them are gay.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
CNN, the two head guys, the two.
Anderson?
So?
Anderson is
Cooper?
gay.
So?
Yeah, Anderson
For
and
president?
Anderson Cooper. Well, no, we can get Anderson Cooper and Don, the brother. What's his name?
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon. Get Don Lemon. Both of them are gay. One white, one black. What a hell of a team for the Democratic Party. CNN. They've been getting all the. They do about 20 hours a week. On the
Stranger
show.
things have happened.
Well,
But Don Lennon is still getting hate mail from black communities, so I don't think that'll work.
huh?
He's not gonna do well.
Well, he's representing blacks up there.
Nah,
on CNN.
he's a great reporter, and I like watching him. But Don Lemon, you notice whenever he goes into the black community, he's got like a phalanx of security around him
Well, the
because
man-
he's
the
been
man-
rejected
look,
because he's gay.
The man is gay. That's what it is.
Exactly.
You know how it is.
Yeah, I mean,
Anderson Cooper is never going to be president.
and he doesn't want to be.
He's Gloria Vanderbilt's son.
Yeah.
Oh.
He grew up with a silver spoon in his
Oh.
mouth. He's not willing to work that hard.
okay.
He likes what he does. He gets to sleep in and, you know, do what he wants.
Yeah, I think
What about
Anderson-
Dwayne Johnson and Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks.
well, I mean,
Dwayne Johnson? I'd vote for Dwayne Johnson. I would vote
Fred,
for Dwayne
where are you gonna
Johnson.
go?
I wouldn't
Oh,
vote
man.
for Dwayne Johnson.
Huh?
He doesn't want that job.
He's
Come
smart
on.
and funny.
Come on now.
No, no,
Yes,
no.
the point I'm proving, we don't have
I wouldn't
anybody to
vote
run
for
against
Tom
Don.
You know who would be an excellent candidate?
Who is that?
You probably don't remember him,
Who's that? Real quick.
but he was a comedy writer. Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney would be excellent. Guys, look him up on YouTube. Have that guy run for president.
Wow.
But he can't. He had a stroke a couple years ago.
Well, they
But he
could-
helped write Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's one good thing
wow.
about him.
Right,
He was a
right.
writer in Sanford and Son.
Oh,
Was an
man.
early
Right,
writer for
right.
SNL.
Jesus
He
Christ.
was the main writer for this guy named Richard
Oh.
Pryor. You know, he was good friends with George Carlin.
You know, we're not getting anywhere. You guys haven't brought up anybody yet. Donald Trump's going to be the next president. He's going to be
No,
the president.
he's not.
There's a
He
lot
is
of
so
Who's going to be? You haven't given it. Put some meat on the
Anyone
table.
but him.
Cory Booker.
Show me the meat.
Cory Booker.
Oh, no way. Poor guy.
Yeah.
It's going to be the meat on the table.
But I
It's
just
gonna
want to
give him a
say
heart
one
attack.
thing. I just want to say I wish
Show
both,
me the meat.
I wish both Loretta Smith and Joann Hardesty luck. I think they
Oh,
both
let's
are
get back
really
real quick.
important to
Close
Portland.
that up.
Yep.
And if Joann Hardesty doesn't win, I hope she does something else and stays in
You got
Portland.
to stay active.
Yeah,
Run for
because
office.
she's an asset
Run for
to the
representative
city.
we had over there.
You know what the old guard black folks would have said?
Real quick now.
They would have said, they would have gone to both women, and they would have said, look here, girl. Whoever wins hires the other one to do something.
There you
Right.
go.
You understand?
I like that.
I mean, that's the way the
like
old
that.
the old guard would
I
have
like
it, the
that.
plumbers and stuff.
Good idea. What do you
And-
think, Don? You like that idea?
Yeah.
Don, wait a minute. You went up this way, and then you took the meat back.
Hey,
I talk about the meat and
Don wants Joann to move back to Maryland.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No. I think the folks had a good idea.
Yeah.
But the fact
yeah,
that-
oh yeah, he wants you to go to Maryland and collect your Navy pension.
Okay.
You know.
Well, we got
I hope that's
wait a
what they
minute.
do.
Okay, hold up for a minute.
Is-
What we're going to do next week, I'm not going to be around, in all due respect. Teresa's going to be doing this. She's going to do a book review aspect of it, piece up there.
I'm going to
So
talk to some writers.
she's going to talk to some writers.
People in the writing community.
Talking about the writing.
They gonna have any black writers over here?
Better find one.
I'll have-
Better get.
You're
Yeah.
going to have to help me with that. Yeah.
All right, good. Well, anyway, Teresa's going to be
That's a
on
good
next
idea.
week, folks, and hope you enjoy. But like I said, Google the stuff on YouTube about Joann and at that meeting, that event used to be
yeah.
at Crystal Ballroom
debate.
with Race Talk. That was a good deal. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, welcome. Please hang in there with us. Share the show. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See you next week.